For 60 million years, they've thrived. Through ice ages, through warming periods, they adapted and survived, becoming these undisputed icons of Antarctica. But today, these ancient survivors are facing a challenge that's completely different, a modern crisis that is happening way faster than they can evolve. And that is the penguin paradox.
Okay, let's just dive right into this quote, because it really gets to the heart of the whole thing. What's happening to penguins isn't just some isolated story about one species in a really faraway place. No, it's a warning signal. It's a bellwether for the entire planet.
So why them, right? Why are penguins such powerful messengers? Well, it's because they are so perfectly tuned to their environment. Their entire lives, from breeding to eating, are just woven into the seasonal rhythms of sea ice and ocean currents. And right now, those rhythms are being thrown into total chaos. To really get a grip on the pressure these birds are under, we have to start right here, at the epicenter of all this change. The Antarctic Peninsula, which is a critical home for millions of penguins, is warming up at a frankly alarming rate. And this isn't some slow, gradual shift we're talking about. It's a dramatic transformation of their entire world. And this number, what's truly staggering is just the sheer speed of it. This isn't the average warming for all of Antarctica. No, in the specific spots where these penguin colonies live, the temperature is going up by zero point 0.3 degrees Celsius every single year. That's 4 times faster than the average for the rest of the continent. But here's the thing about climate change. It doesn't affect everyone the same way. Its effects are really complex, and it's creating this high-stakes race where some species manage to adapt, and while others fall behind. And to see this in action, we're going to look at 3 different penguin species that live side by side.
And this table just lays it all out so clearly. So on one side, you've got the Adelie and the chinstrap penguins. They're specialists, right? They rely almost entirely on Antarctic krill. And yeah, they're adapting. They're moving their breeding seasons up by about 10 days. But then, look at the Gen 2. They're generalists. Their diet is way more flexible, and they are shifting their breeding by as much as 24 days. In this new Antarctica, being flexible, that's how you survive.
And let's be really clear about what that means. This isn't just some small adjustment. The Gen 2's incredible shift is the fastest change in breeding timing ever recorded. We're not just talking about any penguin here. We're talking about any bird species on Earth. It's just a staggering response to some really extreme environmental pressure. But breeding, that's only half the story. To really understand what they're up against, we need to follow them into the dark Antarctic winter, on a journey that's been a mystery for a long, long time. For the chinstrap penguin, where they go and what they do in winter, it's a life or death gamble. So researchers tracked penguins from 3 different colonies, and the population numbers showed a real puzzle. You can see here 2 of the colonies, Cape Sheriff and Admiralty Bay, they're following the trend for the whole region, which is a pretty steep decline. But one, Sierva Cove, is actually growing. So why? Well, the answer, it turns out, is hidden in their winter travels. And this just shows you the incredible scale of that journey. Look at these tracks. You've got birds from the same colonies spreading out over thousands of kilometers, heading into these huge, deep basins of the Southern Ocean. It's an amazing display of endurance, but it also shows there's a big split in their strategy. So this incredible journey reveals 2 totally different strategies, like 2 different playbooks for survival. You've got the long-distance travelers making these epic migrations, and then you have the locals who decide to stay relatively close to home, within about 500 kilometers of their colony, and they just feed in the local waters, which are now, increasingly free of ice. And here is the big twist. For thousands of years, that long-distance migration was probably the key to survival, but not anymore. The study found a direct link. The colonies with more of those local residents, like the one at Sierva Cove, those are the ones that are thriving. In a rapidly changing Antarctica, staying home has somehow become the winning bet. Okay, let's shift gears now and talk about the Adelie penguin, because their story shows us a different, more subtle kind of threat. It's one that hits them when they are at their absolute weakest, during a time when they literally have nowhere to hide. This period is called molting. So for about 3 weeks every year, a penguin has to shed all its old, worn-out feathers and grow a brand new waterproof coat. And during that time, they can't go in the water, which means they can't eat. Think of it like this. It's like being stuck in a locked room for 3 weeks while you change your clothes, but with no food in the pantry. You're just completely exposed. And for that whole time, when they're so vulnerable, they need one thing more than anything else: a safe, stable place to rest away from predators on land. And for so many Adelie penguins, that platform is the huge expanse of Antarctic sea ice. And what researchers found was a direct and, frankly, chilling connection. For every 10% reduction of sea ice in these crucial molting spots, there's a corresponding drop of up to 4.8% in the number of adult penguins that survive and make it back the next year. The math here is just brutal. Less ice means fewer safe places to rest, and that means fewer penguins make it home. So we've seen the immediate effects, right? Now let's pull the camera back, way, way back, and put this modern crisis into the deep evolutionary history of penguins. I mean, how did these birds get so successful in the first place? This timeline tells such an incredible story of resilience. Penguins became water birds before the Antarctic ice sheets even existed. And as the planet cooled and the poles froze, they adapted. They survived countless climate shifts by pulling back to warmer safe zones, these so-called refugia, and then they'd expand again when things got better. Their entire history is a story of adapting to a changing world. And that right there, that gets us to the very core of the paradox. Penguins have a 60-million-year-long playbook for dealing with climate change. But the problem is, that playbook was written for changes that happen over thousands and thousands of years on geological time. Their evolution is slow. But today's human-driven changes are happening over decades. There's just this fundamental mismatch in speed. So we're left with this final, really urgent question. These birds, they are the ultimate survivors. They're masters of adaptation on the harshest continent on Earth. They have absolutely proven they can adapt to a changing planet. But the question we have to ask now is, can they adapt to the planet that we are changing